That's, thank you. For those of you who are familiar, you know where I got that from, right? Second step violence prevention curriculum is the first lesson in the curriculum that I used to teach children when I was a mental health consultant. I was like, this works with the adults. So before we hear back from you all, because we want to hear back from you all, on every table there's an orange coaching binder. Please don't take anything out of it.
I don't know what I was saying.
I want you to look through it though, but don't take anything out of it, because these actually belong to Kristen, her teachers, her Dudley teachers, so don't take anything out of it, because they actually belong to somebody. But I want you to see this is actually what, when I coach, teachers get this binder. All of this information is in the Dropbox, and it's scaled for you to adapt and change. I was even kind enough to put the Word version, not the PDF version, to make it easier for you, because I'm kind. Right? And I believe I'm gonna get a box seat when I get to heaven.
That's right.
For those of you who know that. But what I want to take you through quickly, and you can look through this later. Okay. But the first part is just what coaching is. So it's an introductory letter from me based on that program that you'll see here in the letter that tells them, like, it's an introduction, this is what we're going to cover, because what I'm covering as the coach varies from program to program, and sometimes site to site within the program. Right. The next one is what we call the coaching agreement. Now here is the coaching agreement for the YMCA, not Duck's Nest. So I noticed I printed the wrong one. But they're the same, I usually just change the logo. And basically, I read through this in that first meeting with them. We go through every point so they get clear that coaching is not evaluative, that we'll be using data in coaching, that the coaching meetings are led by them, not their supervisor, not by me, but it's their meetings, and there's an expectation behind that. So we really get clear on what that expectation is in these 2 pages of documentation that we talk about. Then we all sign it. Shimon, you signed these, didn't you? Yes, I did. As the internal coach, she signed it, I signed it, all the teachers signed it, and the site supervisor, center director signs it. We're all in agreement, then they get a copy saying, we all agreed to this and we signed and dated it. It's real, and it's really gonna happen. Very, very important for teachers, because what I find is that moves them away from, here's the litmus test. Anytime your teachers or family child providers or center directors, whoever you're coaching, if someone else comes and they say, Monica said, that's a clear, her name is Monica too. Monica over here was looking at me, but her name is Monica too. That's a clear indication that they haven't owned it, they haven't internalized it. So as a coach, when I hear them saying, Sean said, I think, okay, they're pushing back, but they haven't internalized it. I have to do more work to get them to own it, because ownership says, we're making our circle times shorter because Billy, Calvin, Wyatt, so and so and so, and then go into the detail around the why behind it. That's a clear indication that they've owned it. When they're saying somebody else said, that is not ownership. That's lack of accountability. That's, I don't want to be accountable for whatever you're going to say to me about this, so I'm going to say someone else told me to do it. When I see teachers swing to the other side, they've owned it. They've completely owned it. And that's what we want them up to get. So that's clearly a strategy you need to look out for. Teachers' language, really, really important to help you move them from one mechanism to the other, from A to B. Okay? The next thing I'm only gonna go to the front section, not the whole thing, so don't worry, is a consent form. Because I only coach through video. So I think in the last 6 years, I've had 2 teachers who refused to sign, and one of them I said, well, I guess I can't be your coach, so let's find you someone else. And then the program director somehow got her to sign it when I wasn't there. But that's my stance as the coach, because I know the power of video. And there's more and more research out there. Jim Knight wrote a whole book on the power of video and in coaching. He's an instructional coaching person. He does K-12. It's in here, but it removes this as a coach. So if I'm observing you from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m., then I meet with you at 1:30, and I'm trying to recall what you did. Here's the issue that Brian Tracy said years ago. It's in my actually email signature for those of you who read that long. We judge ourselves by our intentions. Others judge us by our actions. This is the problem with non-video coaching. Teachers judge themselves by their intentions. I say hello to all the parents, but I watch you, because we're talking about family partnerships. 21 families show up, you only say good morning to 2. This is my evidence, but the teacher said, I say hi to all the parents. I know all my parents. But I actually observed you say hi to only 2 in the course of an hour, and they all came to school at different times. So it removes that from the conversation because they're both watching the video. We're watching the same video. We might see different things, but those types of things we can't deny. So for that reason, I only coach with video. And it's powerful, and you're going to see later how it can be really powerful because teachers have access to it continuously. Specifically teachers, and there are teachers here who are charged with teaching and coaching other teachers, novice teachers or apprentice teachers or student learners. It's a great way for them to do that. The next page, which you all should have a copy of, is coaching versus other behavioral strategies. This is real important for teachers to see and for coaches to understand how coaching is fundamentally different. One of the things that I run into here in the San Francisco, Oakland Bay area with folks who coach is they say, I'm a coach, but when I talk to them about the work, all they're providing is technical assistance under the title of coach. And they argue with me, and I'm just like, there's nothing wrong with providing TA, but you're not coaching, let's be clear. That's like the cop pulling me over saying, sir, you were doing 95. And I said, I thought I was only doing 60. You were doing 95. So let's be clear, I was speeding when you pulled me over. So we've got to have a different conversation around what we're really doing, roles and expectations. And some of this is the system. It's not the coach, it's the system that employs the coach that says, I expect you. So I'm going to say this, and I know some of you may know what I'm talking about. There's one county that puts a lot of money into ears and ECHR scores and getting ready for ECHRs year after year. So I have a colleague who calls me every time and she says, I have to go to the school and they've got to get ready for ECHRs. And I say, didn't y'all do that last year? Yeah, but so I'm confused. If it's the same teachers who've been in the room for 17 years and ECHRs comes every year, so after ECHRs leaves, are they like tumbling the room into pieces? It's a little bit of insanity. And they're paying people big bucks to go back in and say, label this, do this benign stuff.